Pop the old bumper back on. I took a crescent wrench and closed it up on the sides of the bumper to see if I could get it to kind of bend those flared outside parts. And it bent pretty easy. It does not look, you know, it's not super strong. So we're getting pretty close to this part being done. And then we'll move on to something else on this project. There's plenty of work to do. Just looks like we had some looks like we had some shape changing from welding the brackets, which is kind of to be expected. Kind of look like the brackets pulled in, so you have to flare them out to get them over the horns of the frame. But as I said, we're going to get it down here, mounted like it should be, and then see if we need to adjust the outside shape of the bumpers, or the bumper anymore, or if it's good to go. If it's good to go, all we have left is pulling the bumper back off, taking the brackets off, painting those, and then making sure we get these bolts where they'll pull in all the way. Right now they don't pull in all the way because they're kind of hitting the back of the washers. I may have to go and it has a large square part, you know, because they're carriage bolts. That goes through and it hits the washer before it can tighten up all the way. So it's so they don't pull all the way up to the bumper. So we'll do that. Paint the bumper bolts, or paint the bumper brackets. Big thing is making sure this is nice and clean now. And then additionally, I still have to put the license plate bracket part of this bumper on. That's close to the end product. Like I say, I got to put the license plate mess in here. I'm gonna go and grind down the part of the square end of these carriage bolts so they're not getting tight before they pull through all the way, and paint the bumper brackets. Overall, pretty decent. How much, it doesn't really need much more time put in it. This bumper is more bendy than I would have expected, but it's, you know, Chinesium. Yeah, all right. I think we're getting shape kind of where it needs to be. Where it doesn't look out of place as much. And again, $100 for the bumper, maybe $125, I can't remember. $40 40 bucks for this piece that goes in here. Carriage bolts, metal. I'm well under the 500 it would have cost to do the Dodge bumper. But the big thing is, it is a much tighter fitting bumper than the Dodge bumper would have been. So I think it's good. Some people aren't gonna like it just because it's Chevy parts on a Dodge. If you're not familiar with that, there are some Dodge folk that are pretty committed to original Dodge stuff on Dodge product. They are not fans of stuff like this. Is it perfect? Definitely not. But is it as perfect as the rest of the truck? I think so. I think it's right there in the same lines as what we've already got here. So I'm gonna pop it off one more time and paint my brackets, zip these guys out, grind on those a little bit, get them to where they fit like they're supposed to, and put it back together for the final time with the license plate bracket and the license plate light installed, which I have both. Yeah, and then we'll be moving on to something else. Maybe this sweet exhaust. I got the license plate thingy bracket part of the bumper mounted, I guess. I'm not sure why Chevy has you use a whole separate piece, but whatever, doesn't really matter. Got our bumper brackets painted just to discern which side is left and right. I drilled a hole in the left one, so just a small hole. Won't affect anything other than to tell me which is which. They're nice and painted. Painted far better than is required for as much as they're going to be seen, which is very little. The bumper bolts, I think I got those ground down to the point that the square part of the carriage bolt won't be inhibiting the bolt from actually tightening. And I got fresh washers for them because the washers kind of got ate up before from the square part of the carriage bolt coming too far through and actually messing up the washers. I got flat washers also, but those are clearly not going to work with the amount of space available here. But that's all right. I got all fresh lock washers. And it's 90 something degrees. It's not quite ready to let it be fall yet for some reason. It's October. We could honestly think about it being fall soon. That would be nice. Or I could get the cars running and I could just work in the air-conditioned garage. Which might be what comes next on the truck, is getting it running, because it's the first one of the group that needs to run. It ran until it was only parked for about a week, and then now it just cranks. It doesn't. It acts like it's got no sparkles. This is going to be the final install on the bumper. I did go through and round these corners off to make them look a little bit less square. Nothing crazy. I may still do a little bending on this bottom edge on both sides. So what was happening before is the square part of the carriage bolts was coming all the way through the bumper brackets. And then when the lock washer tried to tighten down, it spread out the lock washer to go over the square part of the carriage bolt. So we had to fix that. We are to the point where we're fixing to put this on for the last time. So I'll get the cameras moved and reset up for that. Then we'll take a look at it, the overall appearance with the actual license plate part installed and everything. See what we think here. But we'll pick up once we move the cameras. Let me get the impact and a wrench, and we'll zip this thing on there. And make it a permanent fixture, hopefully. Alright. Kind of use these sweet, really long tailpipes to support the bumper. Whoever was putting on this terrible exhaust was really thinking ahead. There we go. On. See, we scraped off a good chunk of our fresh paint as we went over the frame. Oh yeah. And some more paint. Ow, and some skin that time. Oofta. Okay. Now, that's probably gonna be a blood blister. Oh, that hurt. Got caught between the old bumper bracket and the frame. Oh, yeah, that was unpleasant. Let's get this guy on first, too. Guess I can go ahead and plug in the old license plate light since we're wired up. Now, if it actually works or not is a valid question, but I guess we'll find out. I think this was for a second license plate light. There may be one on each side on the original bumper. Okay. There we go. Kind of excited to see what it looks like with the whole license plate in there instead of just the big open section in the middle. Actual chrome bumper bolts would probably look better than these zinc plated carriage bolts, but you know, you run with what you got sometimes. If we go all the way up there. Okay. Alrighty. See, we still got some adjustability here. Alright, that kind of locks down that side. Oh, I can't see like I used to. Alright, so we're good on this side. Yeah. One thing I have not checked is to make sure the tailgate comes down. That's probably important. Probably waited way too long to check that for clearance. But let's see. Seems like it would clear. Best. We'll find out here shortly, I guess. All right. There we go. Hold it just a hair. There it is. Bumper or tailgate? Big question. Tailgate would definitely fit. Like, it doesn't care, but this kind of bowed up thing I've talked about here a few times, where the bumper kind of seems to go like that, which I think is a manufacturing thing, where it needs to actually be bent down more. Like when they molded it, it wasn't quite right. But the tailgate goes down good enough. That's it. Let's clean it up with some acetone, get all these marks off of it, get the handprints off of it. See how we look overall. License plate's trying to attack me. And then we're gonna, at some point I might come through here and bend this down with probably a pry bar. Just roll it up under here and start bending the guy down. That bow is some kind of awful manufacturing problem. Bumper's not particularly hard to shape. Ultimately I could come and take some of it off, because it still kind of flares out. Just a hair right here, but I kind of put out a little preliminary picture of what this bumper looks like on here on a Dodge truck website, and as is often the case with Dodge truck or Dodge people, period, it seems. It is mixed reviews. You know, the die-hard Dodge guys are gonna hate it no matter what. The train's coming by, so just to provide that authentic audio. Yeah, put the handprints right back on it. But then others did ask, you know, about what the brackets look like to do it and so on. Your opinion only matters if you're going to pay for something. This is that bow I'm talking about, because it's kind of flat here and it's not even bowed specifically in one place. It's kind of bowed off center, which I think we can take care of. Actually, there's going to be some little bend marks, but that's all right. I think that's a little bit of a part quality issue. Whoever makes this Chinesium C-10 bumper. I mean, let's face it, if this bumper's ever involved in a car accident, it's not doing anything. It's going to crinkle like a tin can. Oh, that was a good one. I felt that one actually move. That's crazy. Now there's actual clearance between the tailgate and the top of the bumper, which is good. That's good enough. Let's call it. Yeah, I think that's better. We could still have this rolled in a little more. But that's a wrap for me, I believe. Some more authentic sounds of my neighborhood. Just move along, fella. Here we are. That's the bumper. Like I say, next time probably going to get the truck running again, and I'm not sure what that will entail. It seems like it doesn't have spark. We'll figure it out, and I will certainly turn the cameras back on then. And I appreciate you watching. You know, like, comment, subscribe, share, do those things, because the channel could use some growth. Not so much in subscriber, but maybe viewership. Up the old viewership would be cool. Otherwise, I'll just keep making them and see what happens.